Hey guys, it's Nate, aka The Foot Accountant. Welcome back to the channel. The story that might be bigger than the entire new FC Pro Live promo itself today is the evolution that's supposed to come along with the promo. Supposedly, we have a crazy Evo that is dropping today in FC 26, leaked ahead of time, of course, with an upgrade that gives us the best playstyle plus in this game. And it's not supposed to break the bank either, like the 100,000 coin center back Evo did just last week. We're going to talk about this Evo today, what it could do to the market, and the new promo that is coming, the FC Pro Live drop that is today with live and upgrading cards for the Pro events coming early next week. There's new tournaments, though, in-game today that we can compete in. We'll look at those rewards that are already showing in-game and talk about what the market is going to do today, guys, because will we have a bit of a Friday night bubble, or will we see the beginning of the Black Friday market crash happen this weekend? I think both. We're going to talk about that today. If you're excited for the video, drop a thumbs up on it, hype the video, and subscribe if you are new. To start things off today, let's dive into yesterday's Thursday content really quick before we get into all the new stuff coming today on Friday. First of all, we had more SP released in objectives. EA dropped an extra Mexico 70 SP chase objective here, which gives us a solid, I think this is 2,500 SP in total that we can go and chase towards. Actually, it's more than that, 3,500 SP in total, with the group reward being 1,000 to help us reach level 40 in the season pass. Also, the weekly objectives refreshed, and you of course got the manager and manager live objectives refreshing as well. Guys, this is the easiest 3,000 SP that you can get. You just go into career mode, you play 5 matches, or you can quit out of those matches, and it'll count. It's super easy to do, and we did that yesterday to get ourselves the SP. I'm going to drop a quick tutorial on a YouTube short and a TikTok and Instagram reel of that today from the stream that we did yesterday. If you guys want to kind of watch a quick little how to do on that, be on the lookout for that one. But that refreshed yesterday, which allows us to level up in the season pass, guys. I'm almost there. I'm at level 37. We are very close to getting to level 40, getting the Rodrigo and probably the pack instead of Chucky Lozano, and finishing this season. So it's a great time to go into objectives, check out all the SP that's there, and try to catch up and get all this SP. Still don't like it how we have to wait so long in these seasons to get our SP and wait till the end to grind out the levels, but it's here now, and we can finally finish the season pass. Now, we had an Evo yesterday, the Welcome to Ultimate Team Evo, which is that pack we talked about that was given out to some people yesterday, and this is the same max 83 left mid, right mid Evo that was leaked a couple of days ago. This actually is a pretty solid evolution. You get pace up to 90 if you have anywhere around 80 pace or above. It'll take you all the way up to 90 pace. Some other very solid stat boost. You get the right mid and left mid position. You get skills up to 4-star, quick step base, and then winger plus and inside forward plus for both of the positions. Now, this is a very solid Evo, especially with the pace boost that it gives. However, I will say, if you're looking to maybe chain somebody and you think you're going to be able to find a really sick chain in this Evo with the left wing Evo that is leaked, the big one that's coming out today, there are some qualifiers in the Evo coming out today that makes it really hard to chain. Max 3 positions and max 89 pace for the Evo today that's incoming. So just be careful before you try to chain somebody in this Evo to the new one coming today. It may not work that great, but this is only out for 2 days, and it does require, what is it, like 8 or 9 games. So if you want to get this one done, make sure you get on it pretty soon. Very random that EA dropped this with only a 2-day expiration period, even though it's called a Welcome to Ultimate Team Evo. Super welcoming that we only have 2 days to do it, I guess. Anyways, that's a random Evo with a decent upgrade. The last part of yesterday's content was in SBCs. We had the Hero Upgrade Pack, and this is the Hero Pick. Sorry, it's not a pack. Hero Player Pick, the match day one that we were waiting on for a while. This is the one with a Betty Pele, Cordoba, and Hamsik, and honestly, it's not a terrible price when you look at the price of these cards and where they were, and you look at how much this SBC is, only 269,000 coins. It is not terrible value. However, I would put this in the same kind of situation as what we talked about yesterday, where, you know, if one of these players is somebody you really want for your team, Black Friday is approaching. Be careful with your fodder. This SBC will be out during Black Friday. Maybe it's best to save it just to wait and see what comes out, although it is not super expensive. They actually opted for more higher rated squads here, 85, 86, and then 2 87 rated squads with a team of the week in one of them. to get this hero match they picked on. I've used the Betty Pele, by the way. He's incredible in game, but I still don't think this is going to be worth my fodder. It's not an emotional enough of a player for me to want to go and put my fodder into that right before Black Friday. Now, some other good things we saw in SBCs yesterday. The daily bronze, silver, and gold upgrades returned, and they're out for a whole nother month, which is fantastic. We love to see this. Same exact requirements, same exact everything else. We had a Festival Football Captain's Challenge 3 for an untradeable mega pack, which actually isn't too bad of an SBC, as well as marquee matchups that dropped yesterday. And since I believe we've got, Arsenal and Spurs that are in here, I think some English players are going up in value on the market because people are wanting to do marquee matchups. So check your club, because this is a overall rating of 81 for this SBC, and you need some English players. I think a lot of people are using Prem to get the chemistry with the English links that you need there. So check your club for some of those like 80 to 82, maybe 83 rated cards. I do believe a few of those are going up on the market in certain positions. So make sure you check your clubs for that, especially if you're going to do this SBC. Maybe sell the ones you got that are tradable and use the untradables to get that one done there. Now, the last thing that dropped yesterday, it was a little late. I think it was like 2 hours or an hour after the content drop. EA released the Mixed Leagues SBCs, the League SBCs, right? They didn't drop right away after the content. We were like, whoa, where are these at? And then they dropped a couple of hours later. Thankfully, they just refreshed simply with the same requirements. Nothing changed inside of them, same packs and everything. Very, very nice to have these out during Black Friday so that when we have Conmy Bowls, when we have these extra cards in our club, probably after the Flash SBCs come out, because when those are out, those will take priority. But after that, it'll be nice to have this pack grind that so many people love to do during this promo and whatever's after Black Friday too, because this is going to be out for this week and then the whole entire week of Black Friday. And then hopefully it's going to refresh as well after that. So that was the content yesterday on Thursday, kind of a busier day than normal. Now, let's rein it in for what today is, the big day of a promo Friday with FC Pro Live. We kind of called it, right, a filler promo before Black Friday, and it is to an extent, but there's also some interesting content that is coming today that'll at least keep us intrigued. Yeah, intrigued is the word to use, I think, before we get to Black Friday this next week. Now, with this promo comes 2 new tournaments, which we're going to discuss, the Big Evolution and some very interesting SBCs, albeit hopefully cheaper cards. Now, first, the leaked team of players. We don't have a very good graphic of the cards that are coming into packs today. Once again, one of the SBCs we have right now, the 85 to 87 upgrade pack, it is a must complete. Whether you save the packs for Black Friday, which is kind of what I was planning to do, or try to open them for this promo team, every single player in this promo squad is between 85 and 87 rated. So that's kind of a cool thing that you could pack all the promo players in that one SBC pack that we have in that section of the game. These are official stats for all these cards. This graphic is not very good. This is the best graphic that I could find at the moment. The cards look okay. They don't look that crazy. Like this Darwin Nunez with the low driven plus with 90 pace, the Garnacho with a quick step and the very good pace and dribbling, and even the Giroud getting up to 83 pace with finesse plus. They do look pretty solid, but it doesn't look to be the craziest promo. Again, these are live cards, and that's where the intrigue really starts to come in, right? How these cards get upgraded. I'm going to shout out this Twitter account real quick because they actually might be posting some of the FC Pro Live cards before the content drop today. If I remember right, I think they did that last year. So watch out for EA Sports FC Pro if you're looking for more official card stats that they will confirm today. And then, of course, it's all about the upgrades, because these games that these pro players are going to be playing for Group A and Group B, this group of players and this group of players are all going to be playing games on Monday and Tuesday of this next week to upgrade these cards. And yesterday the official upgrade path was leaked, and it looks pretty intriguing because it's not looking like we're too far away from 2 playstyle pluses if this graphic is correct. So for 3 points in the group stage, they get a skill mover weak foot upgrade, which is nice. 10 points, +1 overall. 16 points, another +1 overall. Qualifying for the final, I think is what it's called, gives you a 1 of 3 playstyle plus and a +1 overall. So this Garnacho who I believe is leaked to be an 87 rated card. Was that the leak stats that we had? Yeah, Garnacho is an 87 rated card. He could end up as a 91 rated card with 2 playstyle pluses, the way that it seems right now through the leaked upgrade set here. Now, this wouldn't be until the end of January, but that's like Team of the Year time. And last year, Team of the Years had 3 playstyle pluses, but before that, we didn't have very many 2 playstyle plus cards. Kind of interesting to see how these upgrades will pan out and play out, of course, with the way the power curve shapes up to be. This seems maybe a little early for 2 playstyle pluses, but when we kind of look at the time frame of how these games are going to be played, it's not on this webpage, but it's on a different one on the FC Pro website. I don't think we'd be getting a second playstyle plus on a player until January. So that is kind of crazy to see that on a card because we have not seen that yet this year. But we'll just have to wait for confirmation for sure to see if there is going to be a playstyle plus added to all the cards, because some of them only have 1 and then some of them have 0. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that ends up panning out. Also, it says here the Pro will choose the playstyle plus, and there's going to be 3 that Pro will choose from. So that does sound pretty interesting once we get to that point. I would just say wait until we get to the actual release today of the news to really see and feel out how those upgrades feel. But again, if there's games happening Monday and Tuesday for those players in groups A and B, whatever players in game, right? There's a pro player that's matched up with every single one of these cards. Whatever the live cards are playing this week, there could be a potential of, I think, 10, maybe 16 points if the player wins all the games in the group stage. So we could be talking about at least a +1 and a skill move boost, which is a pretty intriguing upgrade for, you know, a week later after the card drops in game. So there is some intrigue with this today. We'll have to wait and see what the pairings are for the pro and the card in the game and some of the official stats and the upgrade path there from EA. Now, this is the real big news, guys. This evolution started to get leaked yesterday, a couple hours after content, and it got a lot of people talking because of the playstyle plus that it gives, and two of the big names that fit this evolution. But I will say this, starting off the bat, I think the leakers are a little scared to really hype up a big Evo now after what happened a couple of weeks ago with, or I guess it was just last week, with the 100,000 coin center back Evo, right? Because this Evo was Bombazo leaks, crazy, insane, oh my gosh, Anticipate Plus Evolution's going to be coming out. And then it's 100,000 coins, and everybody's like, holy smokes, that's a lot of coins, right? The sticker shock price that we talked about. Now, these leakers, they weren't like tweeting out all the Bombazo emojis yesterday, or not all of them were. They weren't hyping it up that much, but the more that they talked about it, you could see that it is a pretty good looking Evo in terms of the leaks. It's a left wing Evo, guys. It was kind of, you know, mistaken to be a striker Evo after this original tweet by FutAccountant, but it's actually a left wing Evo that gives low driven plus. Foot Police says after the upgrades, players should be better than Pina Gold and Openda. So big talk around this Evo. Low driven plus, but silver base playstyles it gives are technical, finesse, and tiki-taka capped at 6, and these are the requirements. Left wing Evo, Rashford and Marmoush fit. Maximum 89 pace, max 3 positions. Again, low driven plus, insane state playstyles boost, and stat boost as well. I'm guessing these are predicted stats for the outcomes of the cards right here that you're seeing in this post. But I've heard a lot of people talking about Rashford specifically with this Evo. Now, Marmoush is probably going to look pretty crazy too. And think about it with the playstyles that it gives. Again, technical, tiki-taka, and finesse. When you look at Marmoush's card, he already has finesse and technical. So if this only gives him tiki-taka and low-driven plus, he's not going to have that very many playstyles, but it'll still be a low-driven plus Marmoush. We all know how good he is in the game. This was kind of the early game, like, lower-rated beast. He wasn't that cheap. It's not a budget beast, but he was the guy that everybody wanted in the beginning of the game before Claudia Pina became super-duper overpowered. But with Rashford, I know everybody's been doing Rashford Evos this year, and he's super crazy in game. When you look at this Evo on Rashford and you see his playstyles, Quick Step, Rapid, Power Shot only has 3. When you think of this Evo giving finesse, technical, and the tiki-taka, he would go up those 3 playstyles as well as get low driven. So add all 3 base playstyles to Rashford and give him the low driven plus, he might be the craziest card out of this Evo. You know, again, if your Evo'd Rashford already has 4 positions because you've evolved the version that's 84 rated that, you know, has too many positions on it or has too high of pace, like max 89 pace if you got a pace boost somehow or whatever it may be, then it wouldn't fit. But if it's the base gold Rashford, this might end up being a really, really crazy evolution for him. And not just those two cards are getting hyped up for this. Like Dennis Bouanga, Team of the Week, you see is going up a lot in price. Left wings that fit this Evo are going crazy. Once again, guys, it is max 84. There was a bit of confusion about that earlier. Max 84 for this left wing Evo. Mallard fits the Manchester United women's left wing card there. Joao Felix is in form, I believe. Fits, no, he does not fit. He's got too many positions. That's one thing about this evolution that you're seeing. Some cards got bought up and they went up a lot in price. Like he went from 50K all the way to 65. He's back down a bit now. He doesn't fit because he has too many positions. Make sure you double check the requirements on any sort of Evo chain that you're trying to create and any sort of, you know, beast that you're trying to whip up with this Evo here. Max 89 pace, max 3 positions. Those are the two qualifiers that we do have and that we do know right now. Now, talking about Rashford and talking about Marmoush, these cards just keep going up. He's 18,000 coins right now, Marcus Rashford. We've seen this story play out before. Rashford was 5,000 coins, went up to 18,000. Actually, I think maybe hit 20,000 for a little bit. But remember what happened last time we had a crazy Rashford Evo? He went from 6 to 7K, up to 8, up to 23, crashed down to 14 on the day of the Evo, and then was kind of 15 to 17K for the rest of the week, and then came back down once the Evo went away. If this Evo looks super good on Rashford and Marmoush both, I would have to say this could be an Evo that a lot of people want to put them into, but I think you still got to sell on the hype. And I think you got to sell on the hype earlier than you did in the previous weeks. Remember what we noticed earlier this week with the goalkeeper Evo even. Player prices when you had to sell in the hype started dropping even sooner than like an hour or two before content. If I was waking up today and I had these cards invested in, I would slowly be filtering them out, selling them one by one, spacing it out by maybe 5 to 10 minutes in between the card, unless you have like a ton of them and you invested, you know, a while back just stocking your club for Evos. Because this guy, Marmoush, like, he's going to get packed a ton. I'm sure people are sitting on Marmoushes in their clubs that they've been holding on to for ages, waiting for him to fit an evolution. He went from 2,000 coins yesterday. He's up to 6K. That's an incredible profit, right? Same thing with Rashford. Same thing with all the other wingers that are maybe going up for this Evo. You can always take the safe profit and the smart profit selling in the hype on cards like this. But I will say once again, we learned the first time from Rashford. If Rashford does go crazy in this Evo, he has a very high price range. He could spike up a little bit again today before content, maybe even after the Evo drops, spikes up for a quick bit, but then comes back down, and 2 to 3 hours after content, maybe there's another investing window on this Rashford. Maybe he drops back down to like 6, maybe 8, 9,000 coins, and you're like, okay, if this guy's going to go back up to like 12K, I can buy some there. So that's one thing that you could potentially do today with this Evo, but you guys know the drill, selling the hype on every single card. But just a couple more things to notice as these leakers have been tweeting about this Evo. I'm not here to hype it up more than it needs to be, but if this Evo doesn't change, keyword being if, everyone is doing this Evo based off of stat upgrades and price. It's very well priced, not like the 100K center back Evo. And then I saw this tweet from FootSpy saying that he says the Evo is 35,000 coins, subject to change, as last week's center back Evo was initially only 50K before it was released. And that's a really interesting statement there. Like, that was news that we did not know last week when we were talking about the center back Evo. But if this Evo is only 35,000 coins, I think those guys do make a very good point. Playstyle Plus, Low Driven Plus is the best one in the game, in my opinion. It's up there. Tiki Taka base, finesse base, and technical. You put that on the Rashford, who, by the way, has a very poor image on his card right now. Like, what is the quality of that picture? I don't want to do an Evo Rashford just because of that. There's more of a reason to sell Rashford in the hype. And Rashford still has his SBC. It's available that a lot of people have done. So definitely sell Rashford in the hype for sure. But with how it sounds for that evolution, it sounds like it could be very good. Now, I will say this. If the Evo is going to be that good, what's going to happen? A lot of people are going to do it, and players who have left wings already in their team, or even strikers, are probably going to be selling those players to go put the new Evo cards in. So other existing left mids, I think for left mids, left wings, and strikers, you'd want to be very careful on the market today buying those cards, because I do feel like they could actually drop a good bit in price with a lot of the hype being around this new evolution if it is as good as it seems. So that's what I would be very careful with, and maybe sell a couple cards from your club if you have any of those positions that are tradable, kind of more meta type of players there. So that's the big piece of content we're watching out for today. That sounds very interesting to me. I've got a Diego Luna Scream card that is just absolutely begging to be put into this Evo. He fits the requirements. You know, I've done the math. I've looked it up. He may not be the most meta option, but with the playstyles that he already has, I mean, he already has tech and he already has finesse, but like give this guy low driven and give him Tiki Taka. Like I will be there. Maybe there's a couple more playstyles I could put on him from like the season pass or something like that somewhere elsewhere. Like you could, maybe a quick step or something if that's possible, but like that's a card that I'd be interested in evolving based on the stats that he would get for this Evo today. So very interested in that one for sure. But we got to keep moving on and talking about the rest of the content that's coming today. Of course, SBCs are going to be a part of this promo. We have a lot of them leaked. We talked about it yesterday. We've got more leaked. We've got a Scotland Star Performers triple set of player SBCs coming soon with McTominay, Tierney, and McLean. Now, this sounds like the perfect opportunity for EA to drop like a 3-squad SBC. They're all very cheap, and you get each of these 3 players from inside of it. That would be super cool. Foot Sheriff responded here and said that they're separate SBCs as far as he has heard. So that's a little unfortunate, I guess. But it's, again, a great concept. I do not believe these are official stats. I hope they're not. I mean, Acrobatic Plus and McTominay would make a whole lot of sense. But in terms of usability, would you like that as much as you like the finesse on Troy Parrott? I don't know. But again, this is great content just for the vibes, just for the historical, run of form and what they achieved, what Scotland achieved by being able to get back into the World Cup with their performances as of late. That's super dope. I don't know if that's coming today, though. That is the question mark as to what SBCs are dropping today. Now, on the big list of SBCs that we have leaked right now, it would make sense for the Savinho FC Pro to be dropping today because, of course, it's the FC Pro Live promo. And then also Randall Colomani and Gabriel Martinelli. These are official stats for their showdown items. Colomani and Martinelli both have 92 pace. Colomani's shooting's a bit higher, but Martinelli's passing is a bit higher. They're very identical cards in terms of the face card stats, but +2 to the winner, +1 and a roll ++ if it does end up being a draw for Sunday's big North London derby. So I think this has a good chance of being today. Also, it could be tomorrow on Saturday. Savinho being today sounds likely. And then maybe one of these flashbacks would be in objectives or Cezinha. Of course, this Podolski is a part of the gauntlet that's going to be coming out our next gauntlet round. It's already shown in game, the rewards for that one, so we know where he is going to be. But my guess would be Savinho today, and the showdown, maybe one of the flashbacks would be in the objective section. Now, speaking of objectives, we could have a little bit more action in there, but what we're going to be looking for in there specifically today is the new tournaments that we have to play. These tournaments have been in game now for a couple of days, but as you can see here, both the FC Pro Open Tournament and the Ultimate Pro Tournament start today as a part of content on Friday. You see here, there's the Pro Open Tournament that is a daily refreshing tournament with 30 entries. It's only 3 rounds, and you can see the rewards are right here as well. Let's preview into this and see what the rewards exactly are. By the way, the squad requirements are max 85 overall with 187 and higher in your squad. So there's a little bit of a squad requirement there. But when you look at the rewards here, you can see there's a Cornerstone Evo. There's a Finesse Shot Base Evo just for playing 2 games. Right Wing Inside Forward ++ for playing 3 games. Another World Tour consumable Evo for winning the quarterfinals, which is, again, just winning the the first round, because this is a 3-round tournament. Quarterfinals, semifinals, and then the final. So that's great. Win in the semifinals for an 80+ times 10. And then win the tournament for that green card design that we saw leaked yesterday. Sounds like this isn't going to be mode mastery swaps, guys. At least the way this looks right now. It's an evolution consumable for a special green colored card, which I guess is just going to commemorate if you're able to win this tournament, then you get that live winner item. So I guess the name of this card design, Live Winner Excellence, was actually correct in the leaks that we saw yesterday. So that doesn't seem super crazy unless there's something special about this card design that we do not know yet. And then the group reward, if you complete all the other objectives, is an 82 by 10. So basically what you have to do is just win the tournament. Play 1, play 2, play 3, win the tournament. You've got 30 entries every single day and it refreshes. So EA wants as many people as possible to get this tournament done. Hopefully it's not super sweaty, because the whole point is to win this tournament to then qualify for the Ultimate Pro Tournament, which is also a daily refreshing tournament. So it's kind of like we have all the chances in the world to play this one. And then when we qualify, we have all the chances in the world to play this one, which is also just 3 rounds, classic match. And there's exclusive rewards that we do not know yet, because it looks like those rewards are going to be in objectives. When you preview the tournament, you can see that the squad requirements here is a very long list. Actually, I believe it's the same list that the pro players have when creating their squads. 1 icon, 1 hero, 0 92 overall and above players. You can have max 4 88s and then 7 gold players minimum in the squad. So you can't, actually, I don't know what the requirement on 7 minimum golds would be. Bronze benching? Or just using gold players instead of special cards. That's probably what it is. So that is how this Ultimate Pro tournament works. Interesting, to say the least. It's something that's going to be out, though, I would imagine, for a while. Daily refreshing tournament, probably during the whole week of this promo. So, like, FUT Champs is probably the #1 priority for most people today on Friday and through the weekend. But this would be a second priority for some of the packs that it gives and those interesting evolutions inside of there. Now, let's talk about the market a little bit, because we got to think, right? This is a really big Friday and a really big weekend, because this is the last weekend before Black Friday. And I've been saying, you know, we've been very careful in the market. We're trying not to trade too much, trying not to like be too risky with our coins. And I'm still standing by that. But I do see this as one more opportunity to make some coins on a Friday night where there's going to be gameplay demand. There's going to be content today that's interesting, right? With that evolution, there's FUT Champs rewards that are out there. A lot of people are probably thinking, okay, I want to get my FUT Champs rewards so that I can start building my pack save for what's upcoming with Black Friday. Guys, I've started saving all of my packs that are 83 rated and above. Everything 82 rated and below, I'm still going to open so that I can get some fodder kind of going in the club. If you guys have been around here enough to know, that's usually how I do pack saves. So that way I can still do some SBCs like the 85 to 87. I may have to buy some 83s to get this one done, because absolutely I'm going to do those. And maybe I'll make one exception today and open the 5 that I get from this SBC just because of the new promo all being packable from it. But from here on out, mostly I'm just going to be saving packs for Black Friday, because those cards and that promo interest me a lot more than what is going to be happening today. I digress, though. There still should be a good amount of weekend league demand, so I think we could see a Friday night bubble tonight. But after that, I don't think I want to be invested in anything. After Friday night, after a couple hours of weekend league, after we hopefully see some prices go back up, right? Maybe at content, we see a bit of a dip. If there's a really good evo today, that could hurt strikers, and they could kind of drop, and left wings too, and not have much of a rebound. But like, I bought some Shuaminis for 246,000 coins. A lot of these were listed there because this promo team is still very hyped. Like, they're kind of rare and they're still hyped because there's some pretty big name players. So what I'm going to try to do today is maybe just do a bit of a quick flip. I think some of these could rise into the evening tonight with FUT Champs starting, as people would want to use them. Again, big name players like Bernardo Silva, Odegaard, links to the Martinelli if we do get that SBC today. Soboslai, an interesting card that a lot of people want to use. Again, Shuameni is up to like 260,000 coins right now, so he's already started to go up in price a little bit. You've already seen some other players like Donnarumma move up a little. Payor, I would probably stay away from with the low driven plus, but a Heaps card, that could be interesting, right? Harry Kane, very rare card, great item to be watching tonight. I think those are quick flip trades, right? I think these could move up just a little bit tonight, and maybe same thing for kind of the rest of the out of pack special cards, like maybe any prime times that you have, or any ratings reload cards, or ultimate screams. They could have that sort of movement, but I think you want to get out, because after weekend league is up for a couple of hours, if there are some weekend league rewards that people start opening, if they're not saving all their packs, and knowing that Black Friday is the next big thing on the horizon, I could see this weekend ending up as the beginning of the big Black Friday market crash. It could be that sort of potential, because we still have not seen, like I was mentioning earlier this week, the huge price drops. We've been on a downtrend in terms of the market. We have Usman's under 700,000 coins right now. You know, Mbappe's only 1.7. Mbappe was like 2 mil a week and a half ago, but it's still going to go lower, guys. And I think this weekend could bring us some of the lowest prices that we'll even see this week. We'll just have to wait and see how bad the crashing is. But if you need to buy somebody for your team today, what I would tell you to do is buy it at least before FUT Champs starts. Be watching the market. If player prices are rising into content, maybe don't buy. Wait until after content, see if you have some drops, then try to buy there. Play some games, sell after a couple of hours, and then you should be pretty safe for the rest of the weekend to watch prices drop off. Buy your players here or there if you need to play games, but just try to focus on, like, if you want to buy Puteus and use Puteus in your team, just buy the gold card. Don't buy the inform, okay? Because that just is probably going to be a recipe for further losses on a card. Stick with the cheaper stuff. Even for trading, stick with the more affordable cards because there's less tax there, and hopefully it'll be easier to sell a card that more people can buy and afford and will be willing to buy when the market is going to be kind of scared. I think the market's going to be a lot more scared as we head throughout the weekend. Last thing I want to mention is fodder, right? Fodder yesterday was down. It's back up now, 15.5K for the 88 rated cards. I think fodder will be a solid investment. I think it's a sell heading into content today, heading into weekendly rewards. It'd be a good sell before people have some of those packs that they're going to open. Like, I know I'm saying people are going to save their packs, but at the same time, people are going to open their packs as well from weekly because they're all tradable, because that's what you hope for, is to make some coins off of that. So I do believe that fodder will drop off over the weekend a bit. But again, I think that's a window of opportunity, especially on 83s, 84s, and then maybe team of the weeks if they go down to about 11,000 coins for the 84 and 85 rated team of the weeks. I think that would be an investment opportunity this weekend. Of course, you've got a new team of the week that has been dropped. So like Berardi, this isn't a team of the week that would be the best to buy anymore, as he's not in packs anymore, right? Because you have a new team of the week. But that's what I'd be watching, is the informs, 83s and 84s, to get ready for some of those pre-Black Friday SBCs that we could be having. So that's what we're expecting today on Friday with the brand new FC Pro Live promo. Watch out for any more leaks that we could have today before the promo actually drops. Best of luck on your weekend league. Best of luck in those tournaments. And we will be live streaming today, opening up a couple of our packs, doing some SBCs, and checking out how this Evo really impacts the market today on FC26. If you want to drop by, we'll be here live on YouTube and then also live on Twitch at the exact same time. And I've got to find somebody to put in this El Capitan Evo because I can't turn down Finesse Plus after using Troy Parrott. He's too fun. He's too good. But if you enjoyed this video, drop a thumbs up on it, comment below if you have any questions, and subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you guys in the stream today. It's been TheFutAccountant. Have a great Friday. Peace.